What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're taking a look at some new Laney amplifiers. But obviously, it's not this guy, because it's not new. It's these, the all-new Ironheart Foundry Series lead top and dual top 60 watt amplifiers. Let's do it. Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar equipment such as these, I record it with a simple setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes that wear their own band's t-shirts, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, super cool opportunity for me here on the channel today because I get to present to you Laney's brand new Ironheart Foundry Series amplifiers, the lead top and the dual top. You guys are always asking me to check out Laney stuff on the channel, and you know me, when it comes to pretty much anything that is loud and is high gain, I am 100% down to push some belligerent amateur power chords through those objects on the channel. That didn't sound good. I am 100% down to pump some belligerent amateur power chords through it here on the channel. So when Laney Amplification reached out and asked me to share these new amplifiers with you here on the channel, of course, you knew I was down. With that being said, this is a sponsored video. Laney is paying me to share these amps with you guys here on the channel. So feel free to take everything that I have to say with a grain of salt. You're more than fair to do so, but just know you're gonna get my honest thoughts and opinions on this stuff as you always do. So keep that in mind. And also huge shout to my biological step uncle, Mr. Ben Eller, for setting this up in the first place. Thank you, Ben. So you may be asking yourself, what is the Laney Ironheart Foundry Series? Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna tell you. The Ironheart Foundry Series was created by Laney in an attempt to take the Ironheart voicing, one of their most popular amps, especially when it comes to high gain modern metal tones, and shrink it down to not only a compact form factor, but an affordable form factor. Is affordable form factor a thing? I don't think so, but you know what I'm getting at. Now, Laney has already done this by taking the Ironheart and shrinking it into the loud pedal, which was a 60 watt Ironheart in a box type pedal, and it was so successful that it sold out upon release, and they've been hard to find ever since. So with the success of the loud pedal, Laney decided to go ahead and take that technology and turn it into the head format. So sitting here next to me, I have the lead top and the dual top. Now, although these are two different amplifiers, they share a lot of features, they share a lot of similarities. Both of these amplifiers push out 60 watts RMS, which is impressive considering their form factor. Both of these amplifiers have a foot switchable lead boost. Both of them are 2-channel amplifiers. And with these two amplifiers, not only do you get a 3-band EQ to dial in the tone that you want, but you get a 3-way voicing switch that goes from bright to neutral to dark. And having played these for myself, I can say that those switches go a long way into dialing in the tone that you're gonna get, and also they go a long way as far as versatility because they give you a lot of different voicing options. Now, where these two amps differ is the dual top actually has two separate volume and gain controls, and the channel 1, which is essentially the clean channel, not only has those separate controls, but it also has a clipping control, so you're able to dial this in either clean, with asymmetrical clipping, or with symmetrical clipping, so you can go from clean all the way to like a mid-gain type of distortion if you really push the amp, giving it quite a bit more versatility than just the lead top. But if you're a belligerent amateur like myself, all you really need is that one high gain channel, a couple of EQs, and the ability to rip the knob off the gain and volume controls. The dual top also has a DI out with 2 different impulse responses built in, but more importantly, in my opinion, it has the ability to bypass both of those, so if you want to add your own impulse response externally, you can do that. And finally, both of these amps feature a headphone jack output as well as an auxiliary input, so you can plug in your favorite belligerent amateur jams and get the practice that I so desperately need. God, I need to practice guitar more. And on top of the amplifiers, Laney have released a matching 1x12 cab and 2x12 cab with HH drivers, but I do not have them here because they were too cheap to send them to me. I'm just kidding, Laney. I would like to work with you again in the future, so that was just a joke. I'm not funny. at taking the voicing, at taking the dynamics of the Ironheart itself and crushing it into these little tiny boxes here. Not only making it much more portable, but making it much more affordable to the average player. So if you're a gigging musician, you're a recording musician, you're a bedroom musician, no matter what type of belligerent amateur musician you are, Laney has designed these amplifiers to work in all of those scenarios. But with that being said, all of these stupid words mean absolutely nothing if we can't get good sounds out of the amp. So let's go ahead, let's plug them into a 4x12 cab with an SM57, no post-processing, and let's see how they sound. Let's do it. All right guys, so I have both the Laney lead top and the dual top set on top of my Mesa 412 traditional cab. I want to punch myself in the face right now. This is the cab that I use for all of my big main amp demos, so I figured why not use it to showcase these little monsters as well. And as always, we've got an SM57 directly on that vintage 30 speaker. There will be no post-processing in this demo, so what you guys hear is what is coming out of the cabinet into the microphone. And we're gonna play around with a couple different guitars and pickups just to show you guys what types of tones that you can get out of these amplifiers with different guitars. I also have, of course, my classic assortment of overdrives over here that we're gonna play with as well. So without further ado, let's see what these amps sound like. For the first tone, we're gonna start off on the lead top, and then we're gonna do everything else on the dual top here, because the lead top is essentially the same amplifier as the dual top, just with one less channel and less features. But I figured we better plug into this thing anyways, because people are gonna yell at me if I don't. To start off, we are using my PRS SE McCarty 594 single cut standard with the 58/15 LTS pickup. This is a PAF style pickup, and the amp is set as you see it here. All right, let's switch over to the dual top and let's play with the exact same settings on the same channel and see how similar they sound. All right, so that is with the gain dimed on the amplifier. Both of these amps do have a clean setting, but this dual top has both a clean setting and a clean channel, but it also has clipping built into the amplifier. So let's go ahead. You guys know how I feel about cleans, but we're gonna do them real quick just because. And I also have a little bit of reverb going because why not? All right, so that is the clean setting. Let's put it on the asymmetrical clipping setting, and let's try to get a little bit of breakup out of this by turning the gain up. And finally, the symmetrical clipping setting. All right, so let's see if we can get some sort of an actual crunch sound out of this channel. Let's go ahead, let's pull those mids up a little bit. Honestly, that sounds pretty crunchy to me. Let's turn that gain up. And one more time on the asymmetrical setting. So as you can see, a little cleaner, a little bit more mid-forward there. But I think that we need to stop wasting our time here because this is not what you're here for. You're here for the belligerent amateur chug fest. All right, guys, back over to the lead channel. Let's go ahead, let's explore the range of this lead gain. I'm gonna put all of the EQ controls at noon because this amp actually sounds good with everything at noon. We are in the bright setting. All right, so as you guys can hear, this lead setting definitely has that signature Laney thickness to it. Very round in the low mids, kind of rolled off on the top end, even though we do still have some upper level string definition, upper level, upper frequency string definition is what I was trying to say. God, I'm falling apart. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's pull that bass back. Let's bump the mid and treble a little bit. Let's also check out this built-in boost and see if we can kind of get there with that. Let's go ahead, let's kick it on. We've got the gain around 9 o'clock on the built-in boost. So as you can hear, we've got a little bit more noise, but we've also got a little bit more gain. Let's go ahead and push it up to about 11 o'clock. Now, being that this is a preamp boost, what you're essentially doing is pushing the signal from the guitar into the front of the preamp harder, but you're not adding any clipping, you're not pushing any additional frequencies, you're just kind of adding a level into it. So naturally, it's gonna be a little fatter, it's gonna be a little bit more round on top the more that you start to push that boost level. So it's not gonna tighten up like a tube screamer or anything like that, it's just gonna give you a more saturated, bigger, fuller sound. Isn't that right, Moosey? Tell the people. Yeah, you gotta go potty? You wanna go potty? I'll be right back. So with that being said, let's go ahead and push this gain up. So as you can hear, we've got a lot of noise, so you're gonna have to fight with that if you really do wanna use the boost in this capacity, but it certainly does push the gain level and the thickness up. If you kinda wanna go for that classic Laney kinda dark, thick sound, you can switch over to this dark setting on the voicing for this channel. And finally, back in the bright setting. Let's go ahead, let's kick on a simple $50 Boss SD1. This amp, for being a small amp, definitely has a nice punchy bass response. I'll give it that, especially once you boost it. This amp reacts really well to a boost as well. Some of these, kind of solid state amplifiers, they don't like boosts in front. They get really noisy and they sound really unpleasant. That's not the case here, man. These things sound awesome with an overdrive out front, so that is a nice touch. right, so that is with a very classically voiced PAF style pickup. Let's grab a guitar with something a little bit more modern and see how it reacts to that. All right, guys, I have my Gibson Les Paul Studio Faded with the Seymour Duncan Omega pickup in the bridge. Very modern, very tight. Let's see how it sounds. Nothing else has changed. So with those things noted, let's see how it sounds and reacts to this new pickup and guitar. I'm gonna turn the mids down a little bit and try to go for like an 80s thrash tone. All right, so reacting to this new pickup, it definitely changes the voicing of the amp a little bit. It gives it kind of more of a modern upper mid thing going on. What happens if we tune this down just a little bit and see how it sounds? All right, so that is in drop C. Let's grab a guitar with active pickups and see if we can really slam the front end of this amplifier. Okay, so the amp is reacting incredibly well to that active pickup. It is tightening it up significantly. The additional output going into the front of the amp is also helping with the level of saturation and the level of gain that we're trying to achieve. Last but not least, let's try a 7-string and we'll wrap this baby up. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today on the new Laney Foundry series amplifiers. What did you guys think of these amps? What do you guys think of the tones that I was able to pull out of these things? And do you think that these are amplifiers that you could see using in your own personal use cases, in your live rigs, in your recording rigs, whatever it be? Let me know down below in those comments, as I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about these things. I am not sure of the pricing of these units at the moment, but I will put it on the screen right here. And I will also link down below to where you guys will be able to purchase these, because today is the first day that they are available. With that said, thanks again to Laney for reaching out and allowing me to share these with you guys here on the channel. It's gonna do it for me. If you like the video, hit that like button, consider subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my future content. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.